Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the Infinite Baffle channel. My name is Niall and today I'm thrilled to say that, as you can see sat next to me here, we are joined by the Wharfedale Evo 5 series, more specifically the Evo 5.2s that we're going to be taking a look at today. If you do enjoy this video, as always, be massively appreciated if you leave a thumbs up, your thoughts and feedbacks, put them in the comment section down below. We're actually really closing in quite quickly at the moment on 5,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed to the channel, now more than ever, click that button down below, get us over the line for 5k, and again, you guys supporting the channel is what makes all of this possible, so thank you so much again for your continued support, feedback, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, it's really appreciated. Given the success of the Evo 4 range that came before this, it's not surprising that the Evo 5s take a lot of what was already there and just build upon it. This is by no means Wharfedale, scrapping it all, starting again. It is not a brand new product by any stretch of the imagination. It's more of a refinement on what was arguably one of their most popular ever ranges. I mean, the Evo 4s really did push what many people thought was possible in the entry-level sphere and really took that to the next level. So the Evo 5s and the 5.2s that we're looking at today specifically have got some big footsteps to follow in, but keeping what was already there, refining it, elevating it, surely it has to be a winner. Whilst we do talk about some of the tweaks and refinements that have been made to the 5.2s versus the 4.2s, I will also put some of the technical specifications in the background for you guys to look at. You'll be able to find all of those in full in the link in the description as well. The first thing you might notice when we talk about the refinements that they've made with the 5.2s is the cabinet itself is slightly bigger. Not massively bigger, but bigger enough to give you that little bit more bass extension, which is what Wharfedale were aiming for here, and potentially a bit more control as well. On top of that, they have also increased the size of the AMT tweeter that sits at the top of the cabinet, making it, again, just marginally bigger, but in theory giving you that little bit more reach, that little bit more control and depth when it comes to the highs. Another change is the base or plinth, as some people might say, that the speakers actually sit on. Now, this is something that when you look at it, you might think to yourself, just an aesthetic change, an aesthetic choice that Wharfedale has made, but everything they've done here does seem to be leaning into just little increments of performance improvement, again, to get an overall better result. And the reason they've changed the base, they've used a hybrid material design compared to the predecessor, and that's then allowed them to put in a different porting system, and that gives you more control, improves the resonance of the speakers, and also allowed them to simplify the crossover, which again can never be a bad thing. Aesthetically, I don't think the speakers will surprise anybody. I mean, Wharfedale very much are kind of stuck with the principal design. It's very similar to the Elysians, very similar to the previous Evo model, and it's a design that works really well. I think the tweeter looks fantastic, and again becomes in white, walnut and black. They have added a lunar grey finish, which I think gives it a bit more of a modern twist, because to me the Wharfedales are usually pretty old school looking, but that grey finish does definitely make it look a little bit more modern and kind of fits in with a lot of the other brands like Kef, the guys like Weem. You've got this really space grey, like an apple grey finish almost, that a lot of people seem to enjoy right now. So the big question is, with all these little changes, with all these refinements that Wharfedale have made to the new Evo series, have they still retained that je ne sais quoi that made the previous model so popular? Now, at the end of the video, we will include a sound test so you guys can hear the speakers, make a little bit of a judgment for yourselves for what you think. I will say that it's much better if you can hear them in person. I mean, we're using royalty-free music from the YouTube Creator Studio library, which is never the best sample to hear a speaker through, but we'll give you a rough idea of exactly what the speakers can offer. We paired them up with the Name Unity Atom, which we had done with the previous Evos as well, so it was a great point of comparison. And just for me, straight away, it was very clear that that same Wharfedale classic signature was there, that was there in the previous models. We're talking a lot of warmth, we're talking a lot of clarity, a very accurate sound, and just an incredible soundstage. The soundstage is going to be the first thing that we touch upon, because I think it's one of the most impressive elements of the speaker itself, and more specifically the low end, because I think for a lot of people, when you're looking at a bookshelf or a stand mount speaker, the low end and filling your space with the sound can be a real point of concern, and if you're operating with a smaller cabinet, it can sometimes be a problem. But for these Evos, it is just not a concern whatsoever. I mean, the low end and the size of the presentation, it really is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's like a floor standing speaker disguised as a bookshelf, or would that be the other way around? But you guys know what I'm saying. The sound is just absolutely huge, and the low end is just thumping. It's an incredible achievement what Wharfedale have got out of this cabinet. Another thing to touch upon is the formation of the drivers here, because you've got the AMT tweeter and the soft dome mid-range, and that for a lot of people would normally be something that's very much a Marmite thing. And what that means if you're outside of the UK is that it's love or hate, basically. Some people absolutely adore the AMT tweeter, some people really don't like it. It tends to give you a lot of detail, but a lot of people will say you sacrifice the natural sound when you have an AMT tweeter, but I just do not think that's the case here. And I think that was very similar with the Evo 4 series. They sound incredibly natural, and it's a very realistic representation you get from them as well. The way the soundstage works is that you've got this wonderful low end that everything else can build on top of, and the way that it hits you is that although that the low end is really there and it's very powerful, you've still got the vocals at the forefront. And if you've watched the channel for a long time, you will know I'm a big fan of having vocals at the center of a presentation. And the vocals are rich, they're natural, it's a realistic replication. And again, on top of that low end that supports it all, it just works really well. The only downside to this kind of setup that Wharfedale have got is that it just means that the placement is a little bit more important. And actually, it's a lot more important. You know, it's not like with a pair of modern Kefs where you can put them anywhere and they're going to sound absolutely fantastic. You really do need to make sure that you get the placement correct with these. But when you do, you reap the rewards. They sound absolutely incredible. And again, at that £749 price point, which I actually don't think we've mentioned yet, £749, the performance you're getting from these, it's outstanding. And that nicely leads me on to the summary really, because that's my biggest takeaway from the Evo 5 range. The fact that this performance is at this price point is just absolutely phenomenal. It's great to see this level of sound just being so much more accessible, because in my opinion, 5 or 10 years ago, to get this level of performance, you would have been parting with thousands of pounds. So the fact that this is just becoming more available to more people can only be a good thing. Wharfedale have just done a great job of maintaining what was already a fantastic speaker in the 4 series, and just keeping that magic, keeping that signature, and just making it a little bit more natural, increasing the bass extension, giving you a bit more clarity, a bit more control. It is unquestionably a better speaker whilst maintaining what made the predecessor so special. But that's just about going to round up the video. Guys, if you have enjoyed it, as I mentioned at the start, make sure to leave a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have you already taken the plunge? They seem to be going really well already. Are you one of those people that straight away opted for one of the new 5 series? Let me know how you're finding them, and if not, you're interested in giving them a listen, stick around because we've got the sound test to end the video. But again, thank you for the support, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you all in next week's video.